Three, two, one. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Viva Los Bills. I'm your host, Will Cologne, aka Buffalo Will. Joined as always with cousin Vinny. Vinny,
What's up,
how you
y'all?
doing, bub?
What's up, guys? I'm doing good. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, and as always, we have Bobby in the background producing the show. Sorry we're a little late. We had some technical difficulties, but we're on the air. Do our show as always. So, let's get to the news or stuff that's going on within the Bills community, I guess National Football League as well. As always, we're on I-95 Sports Network, also on channel 198 Zingo TV, and on Facebook here. Let's get into it. For one thing, which has been a continual theme, Zach Moss is still yet to be signed.
Still hasn't got signed yet. Yeah, it's like you feel a little bit better once that ink is wet. You're like, okay, it's all good, but he hasn't been signed yet, so I'm a little bit nervous about that. He need to get it done.
Needs to get done. He's the only one
Yes,
left.
sir.
Now, besides that, we've had all this crazy stuff happening within our world, not just football, but in the world. One thing that happened was Jake Fromm sent out a text saying guns are good, but then added just make them very expensive so only elite white people can get them. Haha. Not good. After that came out, he also apologized in a team meeting. I'm extremely sorry that I chose to use the words elite white people in a text conversation from her, although I never meant to imply that I am an elite white person. As stated later in conversation, there's no excuse for the word choice and sentiment. While it was poor, my heart is not. Now, more than ever, it's time for support and toughness, togetherness, and I stand 100% against racism. I promise to commit myself to being part of the solution in this country. I addressed my teammates and coaches in the team meeting today, and I hope to see this incident is not representative of the person that I am. Again, I'm truly sorry for my words and actions and humbly ask for forgiveness. I mean, if you don't have good things to say, don't say 'em. Stay quiet.
Yeah.
You're
You know,
especially
he
you're a rookie coming in. This is not good. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, they're making it seem like it was a while back, but it was just March of 2019. I mean, I know the kid's a kid; he's only 21. But I mean, what McDermott and Bean are trying to establish is unity in the locker room and as a team. So I don't know what's going to come about this. I mean, the three things he said were, but no guns are good. They need to let me get suppressors. And the last one that really got him in trouble was they just make them very expensive so only elite white people can get them. Ha ha. I mean, man, a lot of guys come out. I think Trey said something about it. Josh Norman said something about it in an interview. So where do we go from here? I know, especially with the stuff that's going on nowadays, at the present moment, how is this going to help the unity on the team? Now, do they get rid of him now? Or, I mean, they're saying it's a sincere apology. And I know we did what we did with Richie Incognito, but that was a total different regime. You know what I mean? So what happens now? Does McDermott stick to his guns and get rid of this guy to keep the unity? Or does he keep him and have people like, and then start, having some division in the locker room? What's your take on that?
The one way I could look at it is like he's young, he's a rookie. Stupid mistake. He opened your mouth. He said the wrong thing. Now you have to cover up. The guys are going to let him know how they feel. So it's a learning thing. Uh, it just shows how our country is. It's sad, but it's divided, and everybody looks at something different when we all should be coming together. Bad is bad. Good is good. We need to get that stuff out. I mean, he needs to grow up and think about what you post. Don't post.
Where do we go from here,
like
though?
that.
What do you think will be the repercussions? Do you think that he stays on the team and the players in the locker room are going to have bad blood with him? Or do you think they just cut him and then, once they cut him, probably New England's going to pick him up right away? But, I know they asked Leslie Frazier about it, and he said, I quote, Jake seemed very sincere in his apology because he addressed the team in a team meeting. He asked to actually address the team meeting, which is big of him, to fess up and just face the problem head on. So Frazier said Jake seemed very sincere in his apology. We have a strong culture on our team. and those guys are going to sift through what's real and what's not real. He acknowledged he made a mistake. We're still getting to know Jake as a teammate, but based on what he said to the team today, I believe our guys will give him the benefit of the doubt. I think we have a mature enough team that our leaders are going to reach out to him and work with him. So, I mean, you know, they could say that right now and then tomorrow, you know, cut him. So we really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, if the guys are mature enough to do it, but like I said, Josh Norman and Trey White have been vocal about what he said. So, you know, if they do keep him, it's going to be a little bit of a division in there. So I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. I mean, if they're giving Ed Oliver a chance with what he did, maybe 2-game suspension or 3-game, like Fred said in last week's show, maybe they'll do that some type of penalty on if he stays on the team. I mean, he's probably not going to get any playing time anyway for a little while, regardless. But just the fiber of the team, you know what I'm saying? How they're going to gel with this situation, how they overcome it. Do they forgive him and move on, or do they just cut ties with him? That's the question, you know. That
I think they'll forgive him and move on as long as it's sincere, and if he shows his being, if it's true, they're gonna make him, or he will do community work within the community, you know. So he will be out there, and he will have to show his true colors. He won't.
And another situation,
he's not going to
also
be able to fake it with these guys. So
no, they're gonna see what's real and what's not real, just like Leslie Frazier said. Yeah. And it's similar to what happened with Drew Brees. You know, Drew Brees, he's a guy that gives so much to the community, brought him a Super Bowl, invested millions out of his own money, and you know, with the quote he said about the flag and everything about being disrespected, he's getting flack from everybody now. So now, how do you deal with that situation, especially nowadays with what's going on currently? It's like, man, you know, it's like, I mean, they are saying what they feel. He said what he felt. So, I mean, you got to respect his opinion. But, you know,
if you look at his thing, it's like a few years too late, because he's more, to me, what he said is more towards like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee or sitting during the anthem, disrespecting the flag that way. I don't think he was saying like everybody now is disrespecting the flag. The way he said, I think, came out few years too late. Like, why even say that now? You know, it makes no sense. It's not even, I don't know. It's just like, again, look at your words. Think about what you're saying and how's it going to affect other people, you know? And we need to find a solution, not separate people more.
Absolutely.
You know, we can't, our country's separated and it's ridiculous. Instead of looking for the good and coming together, we're always looking like to separate. It's almost like sports. But, you know, okay, we're Bills fans. All right, we don't like those Jet fans. When I was younger, I was like that. Now you're a Jet fan, that's cool, whatever. You're a New England fan, that's cool, whatever, you know. I'm a Democrat, you're a Republican. We can't get together and agree. It shouldn't be like that. We're human. Get together, work for a solution for the common good, the better of everybody.
Absolutely. The only thing that bothers me also with this coming out, because the day before, Joe Kroom, which I have him on Facebook, he's a guy that always travels with the team, you know, during their practices, and takes all the pictures and those off-season film that you see.
Okay.
He had a picture of 20 or 25 guys just working out, and Coach McDermott talked about it the day before, talking about talk about the topic of racism and how he wanted his team to be a shining example for others to model with that picture. And when he spoke about the picture that was taken in Florida, they're all the skill positions that were there for the workouts.
Okay.
And Fromm was actually included in that picture. And he said, I quote, "I think it's a great example, that visual of what our world needs to look like, with the guys smiling together and hands on each other's shoulders. I think that's a great snapshot for America." Then the very next day, this tweet comes out. I mean, how do you think Sean McDermott feels? Like, he's talking about the team with Fromm included, and then to have these allegations come out, you know, with the tweets coming out that he did in March. I mean, it's kind of a tough position for Sean McDermott to be in, because Fromm was included in that picture. So how does Bean and him react to this? Like I said, we were talking about the gelling of the team. And like you said we should just give him a chance to move on. But according to Josh Norman and Trey White, I think they probably, the way they word in their interviews, I think they probably want to move on.
Yeah. Like I said, if he comes in and he keeps that train of thought or tries to be that way, then they're going to get rid of him. But if he comes in and shows he's sincere, y'all, listen, I screwed up. That was tweeted out when in March, right? You said so. That was 3 months
Yeah,
ago.
March 19th. Yeah,
Still
2019.
doesn't make it better at anything, But this is March 2019. We're
That
in
was a big
June.
step for him to step up in the meeting and just
Oh
to
yeah,
address the whole team. That was fessing up and being a man about it.
and that
Now, how
was
these guys react to it, like they said, like Leslie Fraser said, they're gonna take the real from the real. You know what I mean? They're gonna
yeah,
see if it's real or not. So,
yeah. That's
but
what we're saying. Listen, they're going to see it. That was almost a year ago. Hopefully, he cleared his mind out and he's on a different mindset. And they're going to see if it's real or not, and just move on. If he's not, they're going to move on from him. If he is, they'll stay with him, and the kid has to prove himself. And that's all I got to
absolutely,
say.
absolutely. And by the way, last week when we had Fred Kilmartin from the Buffalo Bills Pride and co-founder of Cold Front Report, when we were talking quarterbacks, and we had that last roster spot for Webb. I actually was talking about Joe Webb. I got some flack for it
right.
because I was talking about Joe Webb, and I was supposed to be talking about Davis Webb. So when I said that we're going to save a spot for him because he could be a receiver, I know Fred was like, huh? And then later on, I got some flack. Actually, you actually brought it up to me too, and I'm like, oh man, I was thinking about Joe Webb. So that was a brain fart. I apologize. I'm gonna move on. I'm manning up just like Jake Fromm. I'm manning up on it. I made a mistake, so we're gonna move on from that. But it was a great show last week with Fred Kilmartin. I appreciate him coming. And your buddy Kyle Lilly, good stuff. I'm looking forward to having him on the show again.
Yes. Now I don't have to say that again. See, I was going to say those guys were on the show. And by the way, don't let that happen again. Don't let it happen.
It ain't gonna happen again.
No, I'm kidding. All right. So last week, like Vinny was saying, we had Fred Kilmartin on, Kyle Lilly on, and we talked about QBs, offensive line, defensive line, cornerbacks, and kickers. Now, today, we're going to finish the rest of the roster. Again, see what our thoughts on who might make the roster, who needs to step up. Just talk because there's not much going on. So we're going to have our show, talk, and have a good time. And that's about it. So where do you want to start off first, man? You want to go running backs, receivers, tight ends, linebackers, or safeties?
Since we're still on Jake Fromm, we just might as well just dive right into quarterbacks. Just get it over with.
We did quarterbacks last week, Vinny.
Okay. You want to keep? Well, now it's going to change. It's going to change the whole situation now. You got to think. You got to think scenario. You got to think. Hey, what if he stays? Then we're good. But what if he has to move on? Then what?
Listen,
Davis Webb is going to be the guy with the chalkboard? What are we going to do?
I don't think anything's changing there. Like I said, if he tweeted this out 2 days ago, I could see it being like, yo, what's going on now? You tweet this, you lost your mind. You're looking at something from March. Again, still doesn't make it right, but it was from March 2019, not March 2020. So he needs to just go in there, show that he's real. And like I said, will Matt Barkley still be second? Maybe, unless Fromm gets in there in preseason and blows out Matt Barkley. Fromm will be our third string. But if not, I could see him moving into second. Personally, if I was the coach, besides not even thinking about this dumb tweet that he did, I would give him and Allen most of the reps in preseason, like I said last week, just to see where this kid is at. And if he is legit like they think he is, then he would be my second string, and have Matt Barkley there just for the experience.
Well, like we talked about him a couple weeks ago and last week actually, the kid doesn't really have the size or the arm power, arm strength, but in college he was very smart. He's always good. He always had competition in college, and he excelled at that. So, and they say he's extremely an extremely smart football player that will translate well into the NFL. So, we got to see, like I said, if he gets the playbook right away and he does good decisions in camp, and see he might move up in the second place there. But I don't know. I still see Matt Barkley. I still see him as a backup first, and then, Fromm right there as a close third. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going to happen with Davis Webb if he's even going to make the roster. But going on forward, you think he's out? Yeah. But like I said, it's pending on what happens. If he stays, everything's gonna. Webb is gone. But if he's gone, Davis is gonna be the one with the clipboard at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't see it. I can't see him being gone because then, again, it was a tweet. I understand it's not good. Uh, but then what are you doing with Ed Oliver, who's running around with a gun and get caught drunk? Are you going to get rid of him too? Or are you going to give him a second chance to prove, like, hey, use your brain?
Yeah, I agree with you, but there's some people out there that look at it as a severity issue. It's like, oh, this is racism. It's going to divide the team in the locker room, and in contrast with Ed Oliver, that he made a mistake that didn't implement anybody on the team, just himself. But it is a representation of the team.
Exactly, so, it's a representation of the team, and also you hurt your team for at least possibly 3 weeks. You're not there,
Yeah.
So it all depends how you look at it. I think, he didn't kill nobody.
Thank God.
Why?
Thank God.
Exactly. Because there's been guys
the good thing about it
who did commit, manslaughter while drinking, and they still got another chance in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
The NFL is very weird. As the
good thing that crazy. It is. But the good thing that Fred Kilmartin said was, we have a lot of depth, which is a good thing. So when Ed Oliver will be out for 2 or 3 games, we have that backup to come step in. We have depth. So that's a good thing about it. So hopefully it won't be no love lost for those 3 weeks.
Yes, we have a lot of depth. All right, enough of this sad, depressing stuff. Let's move on. The guys who are getting it done. All right, let's start off with the running backs first. I mean, personally, you got Devin Singletary. Nobody's going to take him out. He's our main guy unless he gets hurt. We need your boy Moss to sign because I think it's just going to be more of a 1-2 punch with these 2 guys. Now, you have Yelton, and let's see this right here real quick. Yelton, I think he's on his last year. Tywan Jones, they brought him in, but I think he's going to be more of a special teamer. And they're both unrestricted free agents next year. Then you're going to go down Christian Wade, who's still on the team. Are they going to keep him? Personally, I would love to see this guy to get a shot, but I don't know if it's going to happen with the spots. You have Antonio Williams and the kid out of North Carolina. And to me, like I said, there's the video I've watched of him before he ended up getting hurt. The kid could run the ball. If he gets that first step on you, man, he's gone too.
Yeah.
So, I could see TJ Yelton being cut.
Yeah.
He only has 1 year deal. It's not going to be much of dead money if they do cut him. I could see, like I said, the 1-2 punch with Singletary and Moss. And then who knows who will be the backups.
Look, it's going to be Singletary and Moss, just like how it was with Frank Gore. You know what I'm saying? Except we got a lot more fresh legs with Moss. And Moss is just a bruising runner. I told you when we were going to draft that we needed somebody to go down straight up and down the field, down between the tackles. And I was excited about this pick. I know you weren't, but I was a little excited about it. You know what I'm saying? Devin Singletary is going to have to work his butt off because if he don't, I think Zach Moss might even take his place, as a starter. So Devin Singletary needs to do his thing like he did last year. But if everything pans out the way, it's on paper, Devin Singletary will be the main back and Zach Moss will be in third and short situations and stuff like that, or goal line situations because he's a bigger, stronger back. In terms of Christian Wade, I love the guy. Doggone it, last time his first touch as a Buffalo Bill went for I think it was like a 60-yard touchdown.
Yep.
He's got raw talent. I don't know if you ever seen him play rugby, but the kid is nasty. But rugby and football, totally 2 different sports. When it comes down to X and O's. Now, does he have the mental capacity to learn the playbook, being that's such a different sport? that is yet to be seen. I would love to have Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, and Christian Wade. Tywan Jones, like he said, he could be taken down to special teams. Um, whatever happened with Reggie Gilliam?
I don't know. He's not
I
on
know we
this.
had him on the roster. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
even
don't.
read up on him, so that's my bad on him. But that's just that kid from Toledo. He's
Yeah, I'm not
man,
sure. I don't even
yeah.
think he's on our squad.
But and Antonio Williams also. He's a big back. You know what I mean? 5'11", 215. Now and TJ Yeldon too, man. Man, we got so much talent and so much depth that it's kind of hard
I got my big
to
tight
see
end
who we
son.
go. But it all comes down to what happens in camp. You could have a guy penciled in, and then once camp comes around, you see another guy excel. Then you're like, the coach would be like, wait. Now it wouldn't surprise me. What if at the end of the beginning of the season you see Christian Wade making the roster? Like, how the heck did he make it above Zach Moss or something? It all depends on what goes down in camp. So, but right now I got Devin Singletary as our main back and the Zach Moss as the secondary, short yardage guy.
No, I agree with you. That's pretty much what I see happening. I can't. TJ Yelton, like, we don't really know what he can do. I guess he never really had the opportunity. When he was in last year, he really didn't get the ball. They gave him a few
Yeah,
carries. They really didn't throw it to him. So it was like, they were almost passing the ball when Yelton was in there.
yeah.
So we'll see. Now, Tywan Jones is actually still, they have him on our fourth on our depth chart
Mm.
right now. So I would love to see Christian Wade, and unless you're learning all these plays, if you're going to run the ball, they could tell you, "Hey, hit the one hole, hit the two hole. This is where you're going to run up his butt," and that's it. And so he had a whole year of the practice squad. So if you didn't pick up
And
the
learn
playbook
and
in
learn.
a
Yeah.
year, then sad to say he might have to
And
go.
it's not like we got rid of our offensive coordinators, so everything's pretty much the same. So
Exactly. Now, the one thing I don't know how Moss is, I forgot his numbers. How is his hands? Is his hands really good, or because
what was that?
Singletary
Say it again.
Moss's hands that good, or is it more like just more of a
I just
power
seen him as
carrying
a
back, a
power
running back?
carrying back.
Yeah.
Power
So
carrying back.
that's the difference with Singletary. You're going to get that slash. It's almost like a Thurman, maybe not as big as Thurman. He might be a little more shifty than Thurman. So hopefully he takes
Man,
off,
he
man.
he was quoted as saying he wants to run so hard that he wants the defense to make a business decision when they go to tackle him. So in other words, if you see any of his film, like
Uh-huh.
he loves contact. Like if somebody's going to go to tackle him, he'll actually lower his shoulder and punish the defender. So he likes that, man. That's crazy that he's saying if you want to if you want to tackle me, that's a business decision that you're going to have to make. So, and he also said that he wants to set the tone with his physicality. So, are they going to come and hit him right away, or is he going to hit the defenders right away?
It's going to be a little give and take. One thing,
TJ Yeldon, I don't know about getting back to TJ Yeldon. I don't know
uh,
because of his injuries when he was in Jacksonville. So I don't know if is he. I mean, does he still have enough tank in him? You know what I mean?
and
Is he
the
still good enough to play?
and the thing with that, like I said, you have Tywan Jones there. So Tywan Jones might push Yelton. They're almost the same
He
guy,
might.
so they
Yep.
might push him out. So I could
I
see
think. I
probably
think.
TJ being gone. I mean, not sad to say, 'cause I really didn't get to see the guy play much. So
But TJ, that you see, they could use him on the special teams. That's the thing with him too.
yeah,
So
yeah, but
you
you have
know,
Tywan Jones for that now. That's why you
that's
brought
what I'm
him in,
saying. Taiwan Jones. That's what I'm
Tywan
saying.
Jones.
Taiwan
Oh, okay,
Jones.
yeah, you said TJ.
Yeah, when you said TJ, I thought you
Uh,
said.
no, no, because that might just push him out, and they're both on 1 year deals. So it's one of those guys probably is going to get cut, especially if these kids could come up and step up into that spot. If Christian Wade could step up, you know, one thing they could do is maybe move Wade to fullback. You know,
Hmm.
Marco, I think. Let me see right now. DeMarco's on his last year. Personally, I mean, I like the kid, but he kind of fell off a little for me last year. He wasn't really there. He's not a big running, blocking back. He's not punishing nobody. He does have good hands out the backfield. Even though he did drop a few passes. But you bring in this kid Reggie Gillian, who's supposed to be a special teams freak, and if he could put a pop on somebody and lay some good blocks, he could
That's what we were
knock.
talking about before, Reggie Gilliam.
Yeah, he could knock
Yeah,
out Patrick DeMarco. You know, so
yeah. I mean, he's a big back too. I mean, I know Reggie. Reggie, what? He's 31, 234, 6'1". Um, he's got 9 years experience. So yeah, he's kind of probably lost a step, is on his tail end of his career. But Reggie Gilliam's a rookie,
mhm.
6', 244. So they're similar in build. So we might see, Patrick DeMarco probably is on the tail end of his career
Yeah, I
in
mean,
Buffalo.
in Buffalo, he's on a 1 year deal. I
Yep.
mean, if they cut him, let's see, they're going to probably lose like $1 million or so. Not even. I'll tell you right now, dead money. His dead money would be
Yep.
$500,000 if they
Mm,
cut him. So I could
yeah.
see Patrick DeMarco being sent off, especially if these kids could come in, lay the pop on a good block, open up the spot for Moss or Singletary, and DeMarco being gone. And I really won't miss DeMarco.
I'm so excited, man. Hey, Will. I'm
Yeah,
so excited for this season to come because being that we got this 1-2 punch, what does that set everything up for? The play action pass to
yeah.
Diggs. It's gonna be, man. They get these guys on defense are gonna have their. They're gonna have to be on their A game. But we'll get into the receivers in a minute.
Yeah, no, listen, the thing is, like, yeah, we're going to get into the receivers. We could actually jump into them right after this. But if you have Singletary going, if you throw in TJ Yelton, if he's there, or Taiwan Jones, these guys can catch the ball from out the backfield as well. In the swing pass, even if they're running some routes, these guys can catch the ball.
Yes,
Moss, I'm
sir.
not sure about, but we'll see.
I'm not sure about
But
Moss. I
but
got
the
to go
thing
back and look at
is,
a little bit more film.
you're going to have threats everywhere. You could go four wide receiver set. You could go five wide receiver set with the talent we have. You
Double
could go
tight end
two
set.
tight ends. There's
Oh
so
man.
many things you could do right now with this squad if people stay healthy. And the big thing comes down to our offensive line because if we're running a five wide receiver set, and these guys can't block, we're in trouble. It doesn't matter
Yep.
how good the talent on the
Absolutely.
outside is. So going from there, all right, let's hop into wide receivers. I mean, right now, depth chart wise, you have Brown, Diggs on the outside, and you have Cole Beasley as our slot receiver. Those three, I mean, honestly, I don't see nobody taking big spot. I don't see nobody taking John Brown's spot. I actually could see Cole Beasley losing his spot to one of these kids
Really?
if they step up. I could see them taking his spot. I mean, when he was in Dallas, I think he had like two drop passes. Last year, I'd have to look
Yeah,
up
but
this.
if you look at Beasley, he's been improving every single year, and he put almost
Yeah,
double the numbers in Buffalo than he had in Dallas. So he's on an upward trend.
no,
So
I
now
like
that
him.
we have another, yeah.
I like
God,
him,
I'm
but what
sorry.
I'm saying, no, it's fine. What I'm saying is, if out of the three guys we have there, I could see Beasley. If he slips, I could see like one of these kids hopping in that spot. That's it. Like you want to give
Yeah,
challenges here. I don't see Diggs getting knocked out or anything. I see Beasley as a possibility. If he loses his spot, I don't think it'll happen, but don't slip. That's what
mm.
I'm saying. You know.
I know. I think out of all the listen, we got Beasley, we got Brown, we got Gabriel Davis, Stephon Diggs, Nick
Mhm.
Easley, Robert Foster, Isaiah Hodgins, Ray McLeod, Isaiah McKenzie, Andre Roberts, Duke Williams. Man, we got depth galore. The one that I think might be gone, believe it or not, might be Isaiah McKenzie. I think he might be gone, even though I mean, what did they really use him for? For a jet sweep? You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
pretty much the only thing that you really used him for. Um, Duke Williams, he's gonna have to step up because now you got Gabriel Davis. That's a big guy, and Isaiah Hodgins is a big guy too, 6'3". Davis is 6'2". Duke, what, he's 6'3" also. So
Yeah.
the way these guys been working out and the film that I've been seeing on them, man, if they get on the same page with
Josh.
Josh Allen, they're gonna be dangerous. It's gonna be a fun camp to watch. And by the way, they're gonna do it on One Bills Drive. I don't know if
Are
you
they?
heard, but they said they're gonna have their camp at One Bills Drive in Buffalo. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know. St. Fisher's, they're not going there this year. I was going to say that in
Yep.
the opening. I forgot to. A lot of places aren't going to the colleges. They're staying at their facilities, especially with the COVID-19 happening. Uh, right now, I
So
believe we
what
have
you
what?
what's
11
what's your
receivers.
what
What do you,
happened?
Right now, I think on our roster we have 11 receivers with the rookies. I mean, what are you going to keep? 6, 7? You
You
know,
gotta keep. Yeah, man.
I don't think Ray could go to the practice squad anymore, right? He's
I
not
don't think
eligible
so.
anymore. You're not going to
Yep.
put Davis or Hodgins on the practice squad because
No,
somebody's
sir.
they're going to take them. So,
They're ready
so
right now. I
oh
think they're
yeah,
ready to.
but the difference is somebody could pluck them off your practice squad if you keep those guys there, and that's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
right now, all right, you got Diggs, Brown, Beasley. Those are your starting three. They're not going nowhere. So I mean, okay, you're going to bring in Gabriel Davis. The kid's hands, him and Hodgins' hands are insane. These guys have
Yes.
great hands.
Their route
Hodge,
running is incredible.
yeah, Hodgins, I could see being the one pushing Beasley, but it probably won't happen. But I could see him pushing him. Now, who are you going to keep out of these other guys? Robert Foster, I believe, is our oldest guy. He's on his last year deal. It's only $750,000. I could see him being gone. Duke
And you
Williams,
say he's the oldest guy?
I
Is that
believe
what you
he is.
said?
I believe he
He's
is the
only
oldest guy, right?
26.
Or
They're only
or no
26.
no no Andre Roberts, that's the oldest guy.
Oh,
That's the guy
okay,
that's
okay,
gone.
okay.
I
Yeah, he's
gotta check that.
32. Yeah.
Yeah, he's our oldest guy.
Okay.
so uh so you're gonna keep Davis, you're gonna keep Hodgins. To me, Duke Williams, unless he comes into camp off with that Houston game. I keep saying that Houston game because Allen was making some throws and this kid was catching everything.
Yes, sir.
Like on the side, over the shoulder, over here, behind. He caught
Yes,
everything
sir.
that was coming his way. Tough catches. I think if this kid stepped his game up or learned the book, like you said, he had said he didn't even know the whole book. If this kid knows
Hmm.
the playbook now and plays like he can, he has to make this squad. It's a cheap contract, and he was a monster. I mean, when I play Madden, that's right, I play Madden, and I play
That's who you
franchise
picked.
mode, and the Bills have won the Super Bowl year after year after year. Okay, what I like to do, which I could see them doing because of the talent they have here, you could go, all right, Stephon Diggs, Brown, and Beasley, like 3, 4 plays in a row. If you get that first down, bring in next round, bring in Davis, Hodges on the inside, and put Duke and Davis on the outsides. Give those
Hmm.
guys a breather. You can even switch your tight ends. You have fresh legs going
Yeah,
against tired cornerbacks. With the talent these
absolutely.
guys have, I mean, it's insane. Listen, not the guy. Okay, Roberts, I could see being gone. McKenzie, they like. You know, one guy I have not seen anything from since he's
Nick
been
Easley.
no since he's been
Who?
drafted. I actually like Nick Easley when he has gotten in there. The guy has made some plays if they when they've thrown the ball to him. Is Ray? I haven't seen
Yeah.
Ray do anything. He almost reminds me of Roscoe Parrish, if you remember Roscoe Parrish.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You
He's
know,
in there, and you don't even know he's in there.
no, what's he
Yeah.
do? What's he do?
Yeah.
So I could see uh, easy. I would like them to keep. I don't know if they will. I could see Ray being gone. I could see Andre Roberts being gone. McKenzie's on that border. It depends on how many receivers you keep. Are you going to keep 6? Are you going to keep 7? I mean, do you keep 8 receivers? I don't know. I mean, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I don't know. I like Nick Easley. I've seen a couple games where they did a little screen and he's good in open field. That kid is good. I've seen I forgot what it was. I think it was with Miami. They gave him a screen pass. He went for 30. If they can utilize him like that, we'll be all right. But I don't think he's a deep threat like Stephon Diggs is. John Brown, I believe it or not, John Brown's already 30 years old. I thought he was younger than that, but he still has exceptional speed. And I think I'm with you. I think it could be Diggs, Brown, and Beasley.
Yeah.
And then because Beasley, you need a good slot receiver. New England, they did very well because of their slot receivers. That was their bread and butter pretty much. Third down plays, you knew they were going to go to that slot receiver, and every single time we couldn't stop them. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's a good play. I think Cole Beasley, they'll use them in third down situations. And to me, I think they could use Stephon Diggs, John Brown, and depending how these guys do in camp, Davis and Hodgkins could be that third receiver until they're going to have different packages anyway. They can have 4 wide receivers, 2 tight end sets. So like they could do on the defensive line. They could pluck and choose whatever they want to do. But I think third down is going to be Cole Beasley this year.
I can see it. I mean,
But
he has great hands. He does have great
he's
hands.
great
He
hands.
he did drop more balls in Buffalo than he did in Dallas. I will
He
tell you this,
did. He
and it
did.
drove me
He
crazy
did.
because there was some third down plays. I mean, if it hits both of your hands, you should catch it.
Yeah.
I mean, there
Yeah.
was some
Yeah.
behind him, hit both his hands, he dropped it. Okay, it
Yeah.
was thrown
But
behind him,
but you
but
got to.
still, go
He's
ahead.
he's in the pros for a reason. He's a professional
Listen,
wide receiver. But
they all
they
are.
were joking around when Stephon Diggs was talking. I was reading some article. I think it was Joe Kroom had
Yeah,
wrote that Stephon Diggs was joking about Josh Allen, like, "Hey man, is that all you got?" And then the guys were like John Brown, like, "Hey man, be careful what you ask for." And then Diggs was like, "Hey man, just don't break my fingers," because they said, Josh Allen has a cannon. Even
yeah.
in practice, they're like really, top speed. So, Gabriel Davis, I seen him running, but it's I seen him at UCF with a couple of game film on him. He runs good routes. Freaking before he was just I think he was just running flies the last time
It was
the games I've seen him running just
it
straight
was
up. But
flies and posts. That was it.
he's
Flies
got
and posts.
hands.
Oh
But
yeah.
the dude got hands. So if he can get the grasp of the route running,
Hmm.
that's going to be a dangerous receiver. And Hodgkins too, which I told you I picked him in the draft.
Yeah.
Um, I seen him play, and I like the kid from the get. I said that's one of the players we need, and you didn't agree with me, but if it wound up falling in our lap, we got him. I'm happy about it. I seen him
Yeah.
play; he's pretty good too. That's going to be our goal line threat. Those guys, between the Duke
Mhm.
Williams and Gabriel Davis and Isaiah Hodgkins,
Hodgkins.
um, Hodgkins.
Yeah.
Those are going to be our big targets. Goal line.
Mhm.
Our red zone offense. Those are going to be the guys. We lack that. We have all our receivers last year. I think we're under 5'9". So besides, I think Brown was 5'11".
Yeah, we had one
So
of
we
that.
didn't really. We had Duke Williams. That was a big guy, and I think he got injured. Didn't he get injured?
Well, yeah,
And
he
then
wasn't really getting much time,
he
and
wasn't getting much time. But
no.
we really do need that red zone threat, and I think we got 3 guys now that could fill in that void.
Yeah, no, I think like we both said already. I mean, Robert Foster's 6'2" also, but I don't think
Mm,
he was really playing. Uh, they just have to get in there, and that's it. If they learn the book, and if they could spread this offense open with the talent they have, there's no reason for them to not spread this field, man. Nobody. I don't. Well, I mean, maybe New England has the best corners out of them right now. I mean,
mhm.
with Stephon Gilmore, the McCourty brothers. I think they're both there. I'm not sure, but the Jets have a few guys. So do the Dolphins. But if you go 5 wide receivers with this talent, I don't think anybody in the AFC East could cover these guys. I mean,
Mm.
okay, you can't double up Diggs, or if you double up Diggs, that's fine. Brown's gonna, even if he's 30, that boy still can run. He's gonna get down the field, and if not, you're gonna have Cole underneath for a little dump, and if Cole's not there, you're gonna have Knox, and if not, you can swing past it to Singletary. It all depends on how you set it up. Personally, they could go 4 wide receivers set a lot. If you
Yep.
want to get crazy, you could throw Davis, Diggs, and Brown with Cole. And if not, you want to go big hands, you go Hodgins with Cole down below, and Brown and Davis, or Brown and Diggs, or Diggs and you're going to have a lot of weapons to play with if these kids
Yeah.
learn the book and everybody stays healthy. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's going to be
I think
nasty.
personally they're going to go to like a spread or a pro set. Just spread out 2 wide receivers each side,
Hmm.
one back, and if I don't know how, but listen, the way we're set up, we could attack with the pass first and then run later, or we could actually just start with the run real strong with Moss and Singletary, and that'll open it up for the play action pass. So we're a double threat. We could kill
Yeah,
you on the pass and we could kill you on the run. So it's like pick your poison. Well, I guess it depends on the matchups with different
exactly.
teams on how McDermott attacks them. But I mean, I'm really excited about the season in terms of our offense and our man. I'm excited about the whole
The whole
team,
squad, the whole team,
the
pretty
whole
much.
squad, special teams, everything. I haven't felt this way in years, man. Since
Yeah,
since I can remember.
Since like
But
the early '90s.
since the early '90s. But I think, like I said, you pick your poison. We could have
Yeah.
a spread on you, or we could just run the ball and see what you do with it. And if you stop the run, which I'm going to find it hard the way our O line is going to be, and the way we're going to have Zach Moss pounding the ball and Singletary. If you could stop it, we still got all the weapons passing. And if we're going to get into tight ends, but if Knox comes, and matures and gets good hands, because he dropped a couple, last year, important passes too. But if he gets, on the ball this year and focuses and matures a little bit more, because he is a beast. But we'll get into the tight ends in a minute.
No, we could hop in there.
You want to jump right into him?
That was your transition. Now we're going to tight ends. So my thing is, with Knox, okay, his hands, but I don't think his hands were all that bad. I think what he needs to do for him to start is get better at the blocking. A lot of the tight ends nowadays, they all want to just run the routes, catch the balls, and be pretty. But you have to get in gritty. There are other linemen, pretty much. At 254.
But some of these guys are predictable. Some like when you see Tom Sweeney in there. When you see Tom Sweeney in there, what do you think?
I don't even really remember him seeing him much, because what did he get in 5 games last year?
And Lee Smith. What about Lee Smith? What do you think?
Lee Smith, Lee Smith is going to block.
He's going to block.
That's it, which kind of stinks. Don't get me wrong. I like Lee Smith. He's a tough, gritty player. But, what did he have last year? He had 4 receptions for 31 yards and 1 touchdown. So, he's blocking. So, once he's in there, defense is going to come up.
He's blocking.
Yeah, They're going to come up. So
how many tight ends do we have on the roster? How many tight ends do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have Sweeney, Lee Smith, Tyler Croft, Dawson Knox, Jason Kroom, and Nate Becker. Correct?
Yep.
Am I missing anybody?
No, that's who I believe we have as well.
Who do you think is going to emerge as
unless you want to take the Gillian also, who played tight end in college.
No, I think Gillian's going to stay at fullback. Yeah.
Yeah, he really didn't catch the ball either in college.
No.
So
I think he's going to stay at fullback.
If that kid catches the ball or starts catching the ball in practice, because his running looked good in those drills that you showed, and he did his own drills because nobody really went to go see him for his pro day. If this kid could go out there and catch the ball, then DeMarco's gone definitely, because you could play fullback and tight end. To me personally, when I'm playing Madden, I use my fullback sometimes as a tight end, and my tight end sometimes as a backup fullback. Why not do that? These guys could block, especially if they could block. You could always sneak them out the backfield for them to, dump pass or something in the flats.
So you always use somebody. You want a good guy with at least decent hands for a check down. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
Do these check downs and get him as a safety net.
Yep.
Well, out of these 6 tight ends, who do you think will be the starting 2 tight ends, or on the top 2?
I think it's Dawson Knox's job to lose, but it might not be, because they like Tyler Croft. Tyler Croft is going into his last season, I believe, of his contract. I'll pull that up in a second. Tyler Croft, he's on his last year of his contract, $5 million. He could be a cap casualty, but then you're going to have dead money for this year.
Yeah.
Personally, if the kid stays healthy, he could play ball. But it's
you talking about Croft?
Yeah,
Tyler Croft. Yeah.
Tyler Croft. If he stays healthy, that's his problem. He's always hurt. Yeah. It's his foot. It's his pinky. I don't know. I just made the pinky up.
Yeah. No, it's his foot.
It's something. It's always something. And it drives you crazy. Why? You have talent, but if you can't stay on the field, why keep him?
What good is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a casualty.
My thing, hopefully, he could stay on the field. I could see him, Knox and Croft. Both, if Knox picks up his blocking abilities, then they both could block. They both could get out there and run around and catch the ball. Sweeney, I don't know much about Sweeney. Here's my cat again. Sweeney, so it's all up to him. Lee Smith has 2 more years on his contract. And like you said, you know what Lee Smith is going to do. Can he catch the ball? He could catch the ball, but he's not beating nobody in route running. He has to find a perfect spot where you could dump the ball to him, and pretty much that's it. But
they're probably going to use him like in a jumbo set or something like that, goal line. They know you're going to block. You know you're going to run. You got to get a good tight end that could block. I think they'll use him in that situation. But If they go to a double tight end set, I think it'll be Dawson Knox and Tyler Kroft. Or if not, Dawson Knox taking most of the snaps.
So I mean, do you give up on Jason Kroom and say bye bye? You know, the
Um,
kid showed some talent, and then last
he
year I
did show
really
some
didn't
talent.
see him. And then
Um,
you go out inside this
but
kid Nate Becker.
Nate Becker, we got to see what happens at camp. Like you said, you never know who emerges. You never know. That's why they have camp. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They're gonna go out there. They're gonna and by the way, like I think we said it, it's gonna be at One Bills Drive. It's not gonna be at the college at Fisher College anymore. It's gonna
yeah,
be over there. So like we just got to see and play it out and see. I'll be getting updates on it and um, um, Joe, man, I forgot his name again. Joe Kroom, he's always there, and I got him on my Facebook. If you guys want to look him up, Joe Kroom, he's the guy that goes to all their workouts. He's always invited, and he takes all film on them, and he takes pictures of them, and kind of sees how the rapport of the team is, and he kind of goes back on his page and lets people know how they're gelling, how they're,
yeah.
what's going on, and how they're, getting together and everything. So I'm looking forward to his updates when he goes to the camp to see, how Nate Becker, Jason Kroom, Lee Smith, Tom Sweeney, and them guys do, and see who steps up to get that third spot. You know what I mean? Because I think right now, the way Dawson Knox played, you see that catch when he just bulldozed it? He just was like madman and just ran over everybody. If he could keep that intensity and get his hands a little bit better, he's definitely our number one guy.
But I can't see him not being our number one guy. I mean, on ESPN, their depth chart, they have Knox, Tyler Kroft, Lee Smith, and then Sweeney. That's what they have. If we're looking at some numbers, last year Knox played 15 games. He had 28 receptions. He led our tight ends with yards, and I believe targets as well. He had 388 yards, 2 touchdowns. Next one was Sweeney. Actually played 6 games only. He had 8 receptions. He was targeted 13 times, 114 yards, no touchdowns. After that, it was Kroft. I didn't know this, but Kroft played actually in 11 games last year. He only had 6 receptions. He was targeted 14 times. He had 71 yards and a touchdown. I remember that touchdown too. And then Lee Smith, like I said, he had 4 receptions, targeted 5, so he only dropped 1. And he had a touchdown. So I mean, like I said, it's Knox's job to lose, I think. I believe they tried to give Kroft some time. I know his foot was still a little wacky or whatever, but he's not playing to me to his capabilities or what he should be. So let's see what he does this year. I mean, if not, he's on his last year. Chop him too, and keep the young guys. That's why I'd rather stay with the young guy than keep an older vet who's not producing. But that's just me. The only thing is, you cut him, we're going to have, I'll tell you right now, how much in dead money, which will be, I believe, cleared at the end of the year. Dead cap value of $5 million. So are you going to cut him and only save a few $100?
Yeah.
I mean, a few $100,000, but yeah, I don't know.
We're just going to have to see how it plays out.
Yeah. I think he'll make the team unless they trade him. Unless you get somebody who wants him, he'll be on the team. Kroon will probably be gone. Nate Becker, who knows? I really don't know much about this kid. I believe he was an undrafted pick by the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, he came from Miami, I believe.
Was it?
Yeah,
all right.
Came in from Miami.
So we're both in agreement pretty much. Knox, Kroft, and Smith probably, unless Sweeney steps up and knocks Smith out. Yep.
I have no comment because it all comes down to camp, man. We could speculate all we want, but until, just like McDermott just said it the other day, on paper we look awesome.
Yes.
But you have to translate it on the field.
Exactly.
So once they get running, and once they get the routes, and once they get defenders, and once they get everything going, McDermott and Bean, they got a knack for what they want. So they're gonna see who's who at the end of preseason, by preseason. So it's yet to be seen. Between me and you, like you said, you want Knox and Kroft. That's who I want. Yeah. But is that gonna? I could see Knox staying at number 1, but everything else is a toss up between all them tight ends. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree because, like I said, we both said, Knox is their number 1. The kid got better towards the year. He was playing with more confidence. I could see him. He learned more of the book. what stinks is it all comes down, like you said, the camp, but how this virus is affecting
Mm,
the whole world, but just the game, because you can't go out there and practice like you want to. Now they're going to try to get in and see what happens. God forbid these guys all get sick again or get sick.
absolutely.
You don't want it, but it's going to limit everybody around the league on how they're practicing, how they're learning. So the first few weeks, if they do get to play a season, it might be some real ugly football.
Yeah.
and, and probably in the first or second week of camp, Tyler Croft, his big toe or something might bother him or something. So he might
Who
be on the
knows? But
field.
listen, Josh, I agree with you. It could happen, but Josh
Yeah.
is taking the initiative because this is all pretty much Josh. He's taking
Oh
the
yeah.
initiative to meet the guys in California,
Mhm.
meet the guys in Florida. I think I forgot who it was, man. He got the kickers in Georgia.
He
Reed
met the
Ferguson.
kickers. Really?
Actually Reed Ferguson got together the kickers and a couple guys,
Hmm.
and Vedvik came. He lives in Alabama. He actually was driving to Georgia,
Okay.
uh, according to some reports I see, just to work out with
Okay.
the kickers. So I mean, these guys want it. They want it, and you can see that's the culture that McDermott wants. He wants people to come. Hey, put in that work, get in the
Hmm.
work done, and you seeing Josh emerge as the leader now. He's taking charge. He's getting guys to, hey man, let's get this guy. That one picture with Joe Kroom, if you go on my page on Facebook, you can see him. There's like 22 guys, skill players. All of them are there.
Yeah.
All of them are there, hanging out in Miami, wherever it was in Florida that they were at,
Mhm.
and they're just getting together, gelling as friends, as players. So that's a good thing. When they take the initiative on their own, I think they're going to be a step ahead. Once camp comes, they're going to be already, kind of gelled a little bit, and
Yeah.
it'll be easier for them. But the situation with Fromm, I don't know if that's like a monkey wrench that got thrown in there. I mean, I don't know how these guys are going to react to it, like we talked about earlier. But it's yet to be seen. We'll find out in future reports and see what happens.
All right, so I didn't even know. Look at we just hit the 50 minute mark over here. We've been talking. We're gonna have to pick up the pace a little here.
All right, all right. My bad,
All
my
right,
bad.
all right. We're gonna have to go. Bobby, you could throw it up there. I like actually the lower throw you've been hitting up. We're gonna go linebackers now. I mean, there's not much to say here at linebackers to me because nobody's going to knock Tremaine Edmonds out. I mean, Trey
Nah,
is our leading tackler with 115. Tackles for loss 11.5, one pick, uh, 1.5 sacks. This guy is just a monster in the middle, and that's it. This guy is not going nowhere. God forbid he gets hurt, but Tremaine's not going anywhere. This kid's
nah.
young and he's a monster. The other
Is
outside line position to me is Matt Milano. Matt Milano to me is not going nowhere. He was our second leading tackling at the
tackler.
linebacker position, third overall, second with the linebackers. This guy had 101 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 12 sacks for, 12 tackles for losses, actually 9.5 for losses. I'm surprised he didn't even have an interception, but he had one forced fumble and one fumble recovery. The guy's a beast. The thing I love about Matt Milano is he covers everybody. He covers the tight ends. When we play the Jets, he's pretty much locked on Le'Veon Bell, and
Yep.
Le'Veon Bell wasn't getting away from him. The guy
Mm-hmm.
is a monster. I love this guy. I believe he's on his last deal too last year. Matt Milano, yeah, this is last year of his contract. They need to sign this kid. Now you go to the other outside linebacker position. They bring in AJ Klein, sign him to a $6 million a year for this year, 6.4 next year, and then his third year is 5.6. I watched film on this kid. This guy's fast too. So this is another linebacker who go out there and cover people and hold it down. After that, I think it's a free fall. You know, I think.
I agree. I think it's going to be what you said: Tremaine Edwards, Matt
Mhm.
Milano, AJ Klein. But now you got Tyler Matekovich on his
Yeah.
coattails right there that they just picked up too.
Hmm.
And also we have what's the kid from Florida?
Rashawn
Ike Brown.
Joseph. Well,
Ike
Joseph
Brown.
Brown.
Oh no, no, that's Corey. No, no, no.
So you're
I'm
talking about
sorry. Ike Brown's a
Joseph.
cornerback. I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Joseph. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Vasan Joseph. That's what I was thinking about. I'm sorry
Hmm.
about that. Another mistake. Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate
No,
it,
no.
by the way. So
It's
that's another kid that played good. If you watch him play,
yes.
he's 6'1", 230,
Hmm.
got a lot of speed. Um, then we got Corey Thompson too from LSU. I mean, man, we're just stacked at the position. I don't know what's gonna happen. Listen, we got Mike Bell, Tyrell Dodson, Tremaine Edwards, Rasan Joseph, AJ Klein, Tyler Matekovich, Matt Milano, Deshaun Phillips, Corey
Yeah.
Thompson. I mean, that's 9 linebackers we got. Now out
Yeah.
of them, I know AJ Klein's probably going to fill in that third spot with Tyler Matekovich right on his heels. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This Ike Brown. I keep saying Ike Brown. This Rasan Joseph kid, I know how he's going to fit in the equation there.
Yeah.
But like we said, we got to see what goes down in camp.
It can't. I mean, I could see him making the team at one of the. If he learns both outside of linebacker positions, great. I mean, if you're a linebacker, personally, if I'm a kid coming out of school, I mean, I know they picked him up last year. I want to learn all this, but outside, inside, give me more
Yeah,
versatility. This way I could be more of use. Special teams, I could play outside, the weak, the strong.
yeah,
You want to do everything. Joseph, like you said, he's a quick kid. He's most likely I'll see him on the team. I can't
yeah.
see him not making the team.
I
Mike
think with the
Bell's
line with
Mike
the
Bell's the
with the
kid they
linebacker
drafted this
position.
year, right?
Yeah, I think the way they do with the linebackers, I think they don't pluck and choose. I think you have your Sam, your strong, your Mike, your middle,
Yeah,
and your Will, your weak linebackers. So I think they're gonna, obviously Tremaine is that Mike linebacker, and he's gonna stay there. I mean, the kid just turned what 23 the other day, and
that's
he's
something.
been a
Yeah,
beast. I mean, this kid, man, he's one of my favorite players on the team. So I think he's gonna be there for a while. I think at Sam it'll probably be AJ Klein.
hmm
Um, Man, it's just so tough because we got so much talent. Like I said, it's yet to be seen. When camp
yeah.
comes around,
Hey,
that's when they're really going to see what goes down.
quick thing. Want to say what's up to Fred? Checking in here, Fred Kilmartin. What's up, Fred? Thanks for checking in. We're
What's
going
up,
over the
Fred?
rest of the squad, but yeah, I think this is a spot where if you want to try to come in here and win a spot as a backup, this is it. I don't think really. If anybody might get pushed out, maybe A.G. Klein, but I don't see any of these guys really do it unless Rashawn Joseph steps up. Uh, Mike Bell, who plays safety and linebacker, he's a kid, but I could see him trying more for safety. On that note, let's jump down to the safeties because we're almost done with the show. So, real quick, Bobby, we're going to hit safeties. With our secondary, well, safeties positions or so, I mean, I don't see anybody, nothing changing. Poyer and Hyde, those two are
Nothing's going.
just, yeah,
We might
those
as well
two.
not even talk about it. They're staying
Yeah.
right there.
This is where somebody wants to come in and get a backup job. This is where you got to do it. I mean, you're not pushing out Jordan Poyer, you're not knocking out Michael Hyde. These guys are just, they know where they're at. It's like everybody in that secondary knows where the other guy's going to be. You know, you're not touching these two spots. I
No,
mean,
they're not going anywhere.
yeah,
Micah
yeah,
Hyde, I'm glad they signed Poirier again. They're not going anywhere. They're one of they're the underdogs of safeties in the NFL. And now is now where now they're starting to get recognition as being dangerous. These guys
yeah.
they gel together. They do everything that they're supposed to do. They communicate. So I don't see anybody taking them out of that position right now.
No, this is just a spot where you want to try to make the squad. This is where you try to earn it. I can't see them moving any of these guys. They're just too strong. I mean, they play well. I probably Poyer might be one of my favorite Bills right now at this on our squad. Uh, what is it? Josh Thomas, Garrett Taylor. These are two young kids that might win a spot here.
You got Jaquan Johnson,
And
Dean
Dean
Marlowe,
Marlowe back.
Saran Neal,
Yes,
Jordan
Saran.
Poyer, Garrett
Yep.
Taylor, Josh Thomas. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't see anybody. Saran Neal showed that he could come down and hit, but
Uh,
that tackle was it that tackle in Houston? What was it
he
that they
did.
missed him
Uh,
in Milano?
Was it Sharon Neal? Well, it wasn't
Yeah, I believe it was.
a miss. It was what was bad is they didn't wrap up. They went for more of the power hit. So when I think it was Milano hit him first, Watson
Yep,
was going down. Here comes Neal,
yep.
pops him back up, and you're like, "Oh, thank you," and just took off.
I, as a coach, you might go crazy thinking, "Hey, what happened with wrapping up?" You know what I'm saying? Because it looked like he was dead to rights. It looked like we had him, but that unfortunately was the play that defined that game pretty much. But I like Saron Neal, Jordan Poyer, and Micah Hyde. I think those are the main guys. Everybody else, I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, we're going to see what happens on One Bill Drive, and once Fred gets the inside stuff, he could hit us off with what's going on also.
Yeah, no, we could always bother Fred. Go look on his sites, which are pretty cool to see. My thing is, like you said, Hyde, Poyer, two guys aren't going nowhere. Hopefully, they stay healthy like they did last year. Uh,
Yep.
these kids, what is it? Garrett Taylor could actually, I think, the way from his highlights, the kid could play. Hopefully, he can step up, maybe win a spot. Jaquan
Yep.
Johnson, who knows? We just think it's going to be a battle.
So we
for
both agree
every position.
we both agree they're right there, Mike and Poyer.
Yeah, they're not going.
Let's go to the cornerbacks because we already on an hour on the show. So let's get to the cornerbacks and wrap it up.
We did corners.
Oh yeah,
week.
I mean, I wanted to see what you wanted to, if anything changed on you, man. Let's get because what we did was we were a little confused with Josh Norman. Remember that? So we was going to talk about it again, but we can leave that for next show.
We can leave that for next show. We're already at an hour. Bobby's saying, "Get off of here, guys! Shouldn't be on no more."
Bobby's giving us the boot.
No, I'm kidding.
But we will stay tuned. We will keep you updated on what happens with the Fromm situation. With that, Oliver, if anything arises for next week, we will have all updates. Yep. Hopefully, we get Joe Kroom and a couple guys, super fans, on for the next couple shows. Thanks again for Fred Kilmartin for coming on. Thanks for joining us again. And we'll keep everybody updated. Any news, anything that comes up, you'll see it here. What's up, Kyle?
Kyle finally popped up. I was surprised. I hadn't seen him. Usually he's one of our main commenters. Yeah, we'll keep you updated as always. We'll be back on Thursday, 7:30, hopefully. Hopefully nothing happens, God forbid. Hopefully everybody stays healthy, and we'll have our show next Thursday. Big Bobby usually comes on at the end of the show. He's not joining us this time. He's staying in the dark. So
staying in the cut.
Cutting in there. So for Vinny, look, he threw his little black thing up there.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, there you go, Bobby.
What's going on?
I was about to sign off.
I'm setting up a little situation out here because summer's here, right? And we're kind of still under, lockdown, so to speak. So I'm trying to set up a little outdoor thing. That's why I'm a little backed up today.
Oh, I got you. You need a little camera so we can see you chilling by your gazebo
or
whatever you got back there. Anything we got to touch on, Bobby, before we go?
No, good job again, as always. Yeah, it looks like, I guess next week or so will be pivotal as far as the sports world, whether it goes forward or not. I think a lot of people are still a little confused and a little speculating that sports will happen or will not happen. So I guess the next few weeks will really be a telltale sign, right?
Yeah, well, we'll keep on top of that too, like everybody else will. And I guess that's about it, man. So, we'll Big Vinny, Cousin Vinny, Big Bobby Blackjack over there. Will, signing off. Thanks for watching. Ooh, for another review of those Bills. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Go Bills.
Love and peace. Peace out. Love you guys. Bye.